none other than the Jehovah Witness founder, William Tyndale. A lot of y'all know him, right? Remember, he was the one who was accredited with inventing the name Jehovah. And guess what his first Bible said? What the name of the Father was? Yahuah. It's right there. Even though it looks kind of like a J, because you know J came after. So you know originally that was an I. So it would have been, if you replace the J back with the I, it would have pronounced Yahuah. Because clearly you are seeing that I'm looking at a U and not a V. This is from 1530, people. And the same guy that you are accrediting with giving you the name Jehovah had it in his Pentateuch as Yahuah. So I want to know if I'm the liar or y'all are just straight up dishonest, because the source is there if you did your research. So while we're at it, let's look at some other Bibles with the name of Yahuah. Even if one letter is shaped different, it still shows you that people in other languages pronounce the name similar. They had the transliterations, which means they carried across the similar pronunciation across languages back in the day. But we don't. I wonder why. Because they're trying to blot out the name of the Father. Okay, this is saying 1278 Pugio Fidei by Raymondis Martini, manuscript from the Ste Genevieve Library, Paris, France. So they even enlarged the word so you can see it better, even though they circled it. You're seeing clearly a pronunciation of the name Yahuah, and they're telling you it's pronounced with a U sound because they put the U there. So even though there's a H missing at the end, it still gives the same pronunciation, Yahuah. In French, people, French. In the year 1278. Let that sink in. So now we are looking at another reference, a 1552 Latin translation of the Sefer Yetzirah, using the form of Yahuah for the Magnum Nonum Tetragrammaton. So if you can look, it's highlighted for you. You can see the name Yahuah in red. So they're telling you this time they put a H and it's still pronounced Yahuah the same way in Latin. So Latin and the French could have said it's Yahuah and kept the similar pronunciation. And here in the 1560 Geneva Bible, we see Yahuah again. And this was a reference from, I think it's Wikimedia. So it was a little bit during this time in the 1530s, 1560s that Tyndale changed the I to a J. He used the V that should have had a U sound, and instead of him carrying across the O sound from the V, which symbolizes a U sound, he pronounced it just like the V, which made the pronunciation of the name different, because now the the is different from the Yahuah. And if you compare the words from the medieval Latin Yahuah and the modern translation of the name Yahuah, you still can tell that this is a transliteration, because they tried their best to bring across the pronunciation from the original. And the fact that the French and medieval Latin could agree, yes, it was Yahuah. Who is English to come tell you it's Va, with the J being only 600 years old? So why are you telling me that the name of the Father is revealed Yahuah, and then in English you say, oh, his name is the Lord? What part of Yahuah and the Lord sounds similar in pronunciation to you? What part of Yahuah and Jehovah sounds similar to you? It don't. So you know that it wouldn't be a transliteration preserving the pronunciation of the name. It would be a replacement or a translation. They found the best meaning that they thought would represent the name that they wanted you to call him, right? So why invent a letter J with a totally different sound, far from the I and the Y, and then tell us that that's the Father's name? Because you are trying to blot out his name. And I'm not the only one who thinks that the name Jehovah has something wrong with it. Other scholars do. So a lot of the scholars are saying that the name Jehovah is a mistransliteration of the true name Yahuah. And that's what William Tyndale did, and then sold it to all them Jehovah Witnesses. Now I'm thinking that they are witness of Tyndale mistransliterating the name. Because what else are they witnesses of? The true name? No, they're not witnessing the truth. Because the truth is, J is only 600 years old, and the V was always pronounced oo, as in food, when it was between a letter. So Jehovah Witnesses, unless you're being witnesses to a lie, you're not being a witness to the true name. That's for sure. So here we see the Jewish Encyclopedia says Jehovah, a mispronunciation of the Hebrew YHWH, the name of God. This pronunciation is grammatically impossible. The form Jehovah is a philological impossibility. So philological is anything related to the study of language and its development. So these scholars are saying that based on the study of language and its development, the name Jehovah is an impossibility. Because if you are studying the development of language, J don't exist in Hebrew, J don't exist in Latin unless it's late Latin, which it was adopted later on. Even then, It was not the original, and J still does not exist in Greek. And it's only 600 years old in the English language. So that's a physiological or philological impossibility right there. The New Jewish Encyclopedia. It is clear that the word Jehovah is an artificial composite, and the Universal Jewish Encyclopedia says Jehovah is an erroneous pronunciation of the Tetragrammaton, a four-lettered name of God, made up of the Hebrew letters Yud, Hey, Waw, Hey. The word Jehovah, therefore, is a misreading for which there is no warrant and which makes no sense in Hebrew. Let that sink in. Sink into your brain somewhere. Encyclopedia Americana. Jehovah, erroneous form of the name of the God of Israel. Encyclopedia Britannicana. The pronunciation Jehovah is an error resulting among Christians from combining the consonants YHWH with the vowels of Adonai. The Masoretes, who from the 6th to the 10th century worked to reproduce the original text of the Hebrew Bible, replaced the vowels of the name YHWH with the vowel signs of Adonai or Elohim. Thus, the artificial name Jehovah came into being. So, Adonai or Elohim would have been a title for Mighty One, which they say is referring to the Most High God. But we don't call him by them titles either. The Interpreter's Dictionary of the Bible. Jehovah is an artificial form. The Encyclopedia International. Jehovah, the vowels of one word with the consonants of the other were misread as Jehovah. Merit's Student's Encyclopedia says, is an inaccurate reconstruction of the name of the Most High in the Old Testament.